Hello everyone. Today I'm working on a project. It's partially started. I think I spent a few hours on this so far. This is a recipe sharing app. I'm trying to create this for my family. I have a large family and we love cooking together and we love sharing recipes, and we don't really have a good way of doing it right now. What's cool is that this was completely built with AI. I have not written a single line of this code. I've edited maybe a few lines. Besides that, I haven't written a single line of code, which is pretty cool. I've been using Aider to do it. I love Aider. Aider is like Jarvis for code in your terminal. I'm convinced that non-engineers can use Aider, but it is a bit more technical, which is a sweet spot for me because I'm definitely not an engineer, but I'm not too daunted. You'll see what I mean by that as we get going. Let me show you how it works. We're gonna work on it today and build it out some more. If you have a very rough recipe, you can paste it into here, and then when you press format, it'll talk to GPT and it will format the recipe for you. I have some issues here, but we'll just ignore those for now. If you pop a link in here, then it will scrape that link for the recipe. You can see that it extracts the recipe for you and puts it in here. It applies tags, love it, awesome. So this is janky, as you can tell. The feature set is weird, but like I said, I haven't written a single line of this code and I've maybe been working on this for 3 hours. This is not alcoholic, cheers. Because I gotta stay focused. Don't drink and code, people. Or do, sometimes that's fun. So what are we gonna do today? I also wanna have a local store so that I can actually save recipes. This might be dumb. I would love to hear if it's dumb to start this way. I'm gonna use, I think it's called Zustand. I don't know how to pronounce it. Just because that is what someone told me about once, and it's the only thing I've experienced with. Let's make all the naive decisions we can here. It's gonna be fun. I just want to remind you, I'm not a software engineer. I know how to code a little bit, but I never learned how to do app development. I somehow managed to get a degree in computer science and never build an app, a web app, or any real app. I built a Java Swing app. So I'm going to make dumb mistakes. I'm going to seem super, super ignorant. That's not the point. The point is, how can I work with Aider to actually get this done, do what I'm trying to do, hopefully learn something along the way, but honestly, just get it done, So let's do this. Let's start with the local store. This is gonna be funny. Sometimes with Aider, when I know what I'm doing, I'm very specific and I tell it how I want it to do things. With something like setting up Zustand, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna tell it to do it and we'll just deal with the consequences after. So I want to set up a local store so that I can save recipes and what's the point of this? Switch between them. Use Zustand to do this. I keep getting these Git errors. But I'm so dumb that I don't know what that means. And to me, it doesn't mean anything because it still does this stuff. Okay. As you can see, I just take a pretty cursory glance at the code. Something to note, like I said, I haven't written any of this code, but it is important for me as I'm working with Aider to read the code. At least enough where I kind of know what's going on. I know that's a very ambiguous statement, but I at least know where things are happening. That's really key. I kind of want to have a mental map of my app so that if something goes wrong, I can at least zero in on where the problem could be in the code and help direct Aider to that location. It makes it easier to debug if you have a mental map of your code in your head. So you need to know what calls what, where does this component live, where is that component displayed, things like that. Do you love how naive I am? Anyway, that's my little spiel about reading code. I find it helpful when using Aider to first, just read its strategy. It usually walks you through what it's gonna do first. It's gonna add Zustand, create a store, recipe store. Cool. ID, I like that it has an ID. I don't really care to read that right now. I'll read it if I have to. Usually Aider gives you a summary of all the changes, which is cool. And a recipe selector, it did do that. Save changes to the store. Seems reasonable. I love when I say it seems reasonable and then like shit hits the fan. It's always funny. Yeah, I have to figure out this git shit, but as you can see, it still does shit. Okay. I love this. So Aider, when you ask it to do sort of big things, it often makes these syntax errors. What I do is I just copy and paste the error into Aider, and it usually fixes them right away. Another syntax error, you suck. I should probably redo this one. I don't have these git issues. Maybe someone can tell me what's going on. Okay, now we have some real errors. There's something wrong with recipe data. All right, well, I'm just gonna grab the first error. This is what I do when I have multiple errors. I just start copying and pasting them in. Sometimes, no, that's actually all I do. Okay, so what's the issue? That seems like too obvious. But these types of errors, I swear, like they almost never matter. I used to fret over what was going on and try to understand. I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter. You just need to know like that it works at the end. Oh, look at that. Okay, so let's try to test this out and see why won't she let me type in here? Uh-oh. There's a bug. Let me try just to make sure. Yeah, there's a bug. I love this. Okay. I'm not able to type anything into the quill head. What's going on? The issue might be related to styling. I doubt that, but I don't know. What should change in? Handling the value and on change. Yeah, I feel like it's more of an on change issue, but that's just me. No. Oh, that's messed up. It's making a new recipe every time I type something. Wait. Oh my God. That's horrible. Okay. Do I describe what's going on? Sometimes what I do is I just undo and I'm like, do it again. The issue with doing that undo and then just trying to describe it better, it often does the same thing. A more direct way to handle this is to describe the issue and then tell it to fix it. So there's an issue where when I type into the quill editor, it seems to create a new untitled recipe for every keystroke. That's not how I want it to work. You should be able to type out a recipe and only have it saved when you press format. For now. I don't know. See what you did. I see the issue. Okay, yeah. Only update the notes if there is a current recipe selected. No, yes. Well, that sounds good enough, but something tells me it's not gonna work. It's already fucked up. The buff. Oh, uh-oh. No. Oh my God, I hate this so much. What do I do? What do I do now? What? Let's be a little bit smart. I'm regretting not having read this code very much before. I'm gonna get rid of the helpful notes for now. Comment out the helpful notes stuff. I loved saying stupid things. Okay, well, it's doing that. Let me see what's actually going on here. Who's texting? I should probably look at the recipe store. Let's move you over here. Add recipe. Omit? What the hell? What is omit? What does this mean? What the hell is happening? Oh, well, first of all, make it so the local store doesn't persist. It should wipe on refresh. I don't know if that's how you say it. Cool, that's what I thought. It's gonna get rid of this persist thing. Now, let's just start over. Okay, thank God. Now, watch this. I'm gonna go Z-buff. Okay. It's giving me an error. Now, when I enter the recipe, then press format, the recipe notes disappear, and I get the error. Please enter the recipe or URL, and no new recipe is created. Okay, let's try again. Z-buff. I love just telling it that it didn't work. that it didn't do its job. Okay, let me analyze more carefully. Yeah, I mean, that all makes sense, but I don't like that, but it might work. See, buff. Format. Ah! Ofo. On change. If current recipe ID, update the recipe. No, no, no. I don't want you to do that on change. Should I go rogue and just delete that? I said I haven't written any lines of code, but I have deleted some sometimes. When I'm like, I don't think you should be here. I'm gonna tell it. Make it so it only updates the store when the format button is pressed. I just want to simplify things down. I don't know if this is the issue, but I just want to simplify things. Oh, well, that's fine. It made like a state variable. Okay. The buff. Okay. Oh my god! Obviously that's not the flow I wanted, but like, cool. Okay, now let's do another recipe. See if it adds it. Oh my god! How fun! Cool. I love it. I mean, I hate it, but it works, sort of. Now what to do? Let's do just like an interface problem. Let's just move this little bad boy over to a menu. Okay, create a side panel on the left side and move the recipe list drop down there. Let's just start with that. But I'm gonna like make it look different. I'm not even gonna read this code because it's probably fine. Love it. You did it. Okay, I think I have the buff link. Yeah, I do. It's so slow. Also, it should switch you to the recipe that it just created and show it, but it's clearly not doing that. Let's actually fix that. That's just a very small thing. Make it so that it switches to the new recipe created when you press format so you can see the live recipe right away. Terrible description. Get it right. This seems already just not efficient, but I mean, aren't we storing an ID? Why is it comparing the title? Whatever. Yeah, it didn't work. That didn't work. Here's how it should work. I found that this is a good way to describe things to Aider. Watch you go. I select new recipe in the drop down. I type a recipe into the editor. I press format. When the response comes back, the drop down should switch to the new recipe that was created. That's it actually, because that should display the formatted recipe, so I don't have to say anything else. I find it's very helpful to describe things in a visual, like a user-centric way, where it's like, I'm the user, I want to see this, make this happen. You can describe it in a more programmatic way and be like, when the input is this and you have this event, then do this. But unless you know exactly what you're doing and you're very confident that that's the right logic, then you should just let Aider take care of it. Okay, some type error. I don't know. I don't care. Fix it. Oh yeah. Should have done that in the first place, Aider. But that's okay. I forgive you. Oh, you did it. Good job. Good job, good job. Let's just make sure it... Okay. It's so that the editor in new recipe gets cleared when a new recipe is created. I could have said like when you press format, but I don't want to do that. I think it'll mess things up. So that when I go back to new recipe, the editor is empty. The buff. See, I didn't want it to clear on format, and it didn't, so that's great. Okay, so now we have the new recipe. Yay! Okay, perfect. Let's do some more interface work. Instead of displaying the recipe list in a drop down, display it as just a list of recipes. I feel. It's like the dumbest way to describe it, but this is what I do. Okay, so please get rid of the select. Yeah, no select. Oh, it's making the new recipe a button. Love it, love it, love it. I like that actually. So this better make a new recipe. Okay, now that's selected. Now, new recipe. Just make sure that this still works as a user. As you can see, the validation process of like, oh, is it still working the way I wanted it to work? It's pretty tedious. And if this app gets really complex, it would be very tedious to check everything over and over and over again. So I have found it's useful to really componentize things and make things as modular as possible so you can limit the scope of your changes. Wow, how cool. I'm gonna stop recording there because I don't know what else I want to do right now. There's a lot to do. Next up would be maybe database. All right, see you next time. How do I stop this thing?